Hello everyone. I'm going to try and show a little bit of what I do when I'm making a monogram, or pretty much any other design for that matter. I'm going to use the last monogram that I did for somebody as an example here, or at least something similar to it anyway. I'm going to start out by creating a circle, which I will set to 800 by 800 pixels. Now what I'm doing with this is I'm going to make something that looks vaguely like mountain peaks. And in order to do that, I'm going to copy the circle, paste it, and that gives me 2. I'm going to adjust the color to contrast here so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to copy this one and paste it. And now I've got 3 circles of equal size. So if I set this one on the guidelines that I've set up already, I can now adjust these 3 circles, and as you can see, the black one is now going to create 2 rounded triangles. I will modify, combine, and punch. Modify, combine, and punch. That gives me 2 circles, or 2 triangles I should say. Now I don't need both of those for what I'm doing at the moment, so I am going to flatten them, which changes them from being paths and turns them into bitmaps. I can now take my magic wand tool and select one of them, and I only want that much of it, so I will now cut that and then paste it back on, and then delete the other one, and that leaves me with 1. I'm now going to copy and paste that, oh excuse me, I'm getting ahead of myself. Actually, I want to convert that back into a path now. So I need my magic wand tool, and then I am going to modify that and convert it back into a path. So that's the part I want. This is what I don't. Now I can copy and paste that, change the color, and then resize. And it is about 350, so I will change that to 250. Now can arrange that, and I'll do that by eye. Center it vertically to make sure that it's accurate, and then I'm going to group that, which turns it into 1 unit as far as handling it goes. Now I can copy that, paste it, and I'm going to transform and rotate 1 space. Paste, transform, rotate 1 spot, Okay, paste, rotate 2 places, and paste, rotate 1, 2. Okay. Now that I've got these, I am going to move this one over, and that one over, and that one, and that one. And then I'm going to arrange them so that the points are staggered. And I'll need to bring that down farther. Okay. So let's put the point on that there, and point on that there. And then repeat on the other side. Okay. Now I'm going to take these groups and ungroup them to make all of the pieces separate. I am going to select all of the gray areas and group them, and then flatten them, and then select and convert back into a path. Now I don't need the bitmap anymore, so I'll get rid of that. And now I'm going to do the same thing with the black ones. Group, flatten, and convert to path. And get rid of the bitmap. Let's bring this up to the top. And put this back in, and then center. And I'm not sure that centering horizontally is going to help, but let's take a look and see. Yeah, that moves that out of line. So I'm just going to center that by eye. Okay, that's good enough. And then redo it vertically. And now I am going to modify, combine, and punch. And now I have the outlines of what appear of 5 peaks. Looks a little bit like a Batman symbol, but I'm not done with it quite yet. So now I am going to copy that, paste it, and then I am going to flip it vertically. Now I need a donut, which I am going to make 400 by 400. And by eye, I'm going to see if I can't get the radius, or thickness, I should say, about on a lot par with my peak thingies. Okay. Control A to select all, and then center vertically. Now, I need to mask, so I want to make a rectangle, and I'm going to make that big enough to cover everything. Okay. Next, I make a circle. Put that there. And I want that to be 800 by 800. Select the rectangle, center, and then modify, combine, and punch. Okay. Now, let's select that, and select that, group them, select everything, and center. Ungroup, and then I want to select this, and the mask, and punch. And now I am left with the peaks and the center circle that I'll be putting the monogram in. So next I need another donut, and I could just copy the one that I already have on the screen, but since I'm going to have to adjust it by eye anyway, I may as well make a new one. Okay, so that's 800 by 800. We'll set that aside for a moment while we select everything here and group it. Then we're going to set that to about the right thickness. Control A, 2, and 5. And now we have our basic shape. At this point, if I were making another monogram, I would be throwing in other elements around the circle just to spice things up a bit. But for our purposes, I'm going to go ahead and make the background ellipse. Move that all the way down. I want to make this let's see, I want to make it a radius. So gradient, radial, and we want that to also be 800 by 800. And we're going to move that there. And I don't want it to be this color. Instead, we're going to change it. Let's make it green. So we want a light green. That one ought to do. And then we want a dark green as a contrasting color. Now, when I have the radial glow, I can now select it, and by dragging the center, if I were to drag it down to this corner, I would get a dish shape because of the way the light plays. In this case, though, I want to have a dome, so I'm going to move it up to this corner. And then I'm going to copy and paste. And I'm going to change the size of the copy to 400 to match my center circle. And now I'm going to drag that down to this side. And now it looks like I have a convex surface with a concave center. Let's see. Copy. So, let's see, actually, those are already. Is that already grouped? No, it isn't. Okay. So I want that, and I want that. And I'm going to center, center, and group. So Control A. There we go. Now, since this is going to be a monogram, I need the letter. And I'm already set. No, I'm not. I need to choose Tiny font, and it is that too big? Yes, it is. So I want to set this to 200. There we go, that's better. And then I'm going to go my own initials, L, W, F. Now I can right-click, convert those to paths, and ungroup them. And that gives me 3 separate letters to play with. Which we will arrange like that. So let's group that. And 2, 5. Okay, the letters are not big enough, but that's easy enough for me to adjust by transforming. So let's make that a height of 350 and see how that looks. Control A, 2 and 5. And that is actually just a little bit small. So let's select them, transform, and change that to 360. Center it. And yes, now we're getting a little bit of overlap. So we will select this, and then the letters, and group them. And now we can do a little bit of coloring. I'm going to use Eye Candy, the Chrome setting. And since I'm going with green and gold, let's go ahead and choose. This is a photograph of a carousel in a shopping center, if I remember correctly. But when you apply it as a surface texture, it just looks like it's gold, or gold metallic. If I were going to continue with this, I would be adding other elements to the design at this point. But for now, I'm just going to add some more depth by selecting the metallic part and then adding a shadow to it, which I will set to 25 width and 25 dispersion. And then fit that. Oh, excuse me, I need to get out of that. And there we have it. That's the basics of what I go through when I'm making a monogram.